In this video, we will start using WorkWithPlus
in our Jesus KBs. Currently, security in applications is very important. That's why we want to generate an application that has all the security layer created automatically.
For this reason, from the properties of the KB,
we are going to set the property Enable Integrated Security to True. Here we find it, and we will be setting it to True.
This module is super complete and helps us with all the application security.
WorkWithPlus integrates perfectly with it and helps us to enhance it even more, as we will see next. By clicking the Yes button, we will be implementing GAM.
Here in the output, we can see that
the tasks are being finished correctly, and we can see that changes are being made. Upon completing the import, we can see the following message. And that means it was imported correctly, as we can see here. To start working with WorkWithPlus, the first thing we need to do is run the Design System Wizard. This application is a tool that allows us to import base designs into our application by modifying several parameters in its different steps. The idea is that by using Design System Wizard, you can select a design system that meets the latest usability and UX trends. And you will be able to adapt it according to the needs of your application. Before running the Design System Wizard, I will share a suggestion. In example.workwithplus.com, you can find all the design systems and the layouts available. It is ideal to review this beforehand so you can more easily select the design you want to use. The wizard is found in WorkWithPlus for Web, as you can see here, in Design System Wizard. The first thing this assistant allows us to do is select which design system we want to implement. By clicking on one of the design systems, we can open it and see all its different configurations. As we are using a trial license, in this case, the design system, Nagara, will always be executed.
But of course, if you have a full license, you can use any of our design systems. We select our design system, and the configurations will open.
Click Accept. Then we will be asked about the base color of the application we want to implement. If we want to add GM security, the discussion module and notifications. And if we want the user to change the color at runtime. If we click on the Import Design System button, the settings we have made will be imported. If not, we can click on Advanced Settings and configure the rest of the steps that our design system has. In our case, we will click on Advanced Settings, so we can customize the different aspects of our application. In step 3, it asks us what security we will use for our application, and for each type, it will show us some parameters of it. As we mentioned earlier, we will use GAM, which is Jesus' security module, which is the best way to incorporate security into our application. We will see that by selecting this option, WorkWithPlus will make a lot of configurations to enhance the work you can do with it, allowing permissions in the menu, different types of login, attribute level security. In this step, it will also ask us which log we want to use and the design of the login. In step 4, we can make configurations related to the menu, whether we want it to be horizontal or vertical, if it has a fixed load from a data provider, or if we want it to be at runtime from the tables. We have other configurations, which we recommend trying and seeing in the real-time preview, which are the ones that make the changes in the design. This is very intuitive, since the changes can be seen immediately in the preview. In step number 5, we can select configurations related to the master page, such as the logo, the favorite icon. Add some features like bookmarks, where you can select the logged-in user data located at the top right, and the footer style. In step 6, we are going to choose the example home we are going to import. There are two types of home, the dashboard and the module. Within these, there are several sections that we can configure later. Of course, you will be able to customize it to your liking. We are just doing the initializations of the process here. In step number 7, it allows us to choose how our attributes will look in the application. For example, in a line or in the form of a rectangle, or also configure how the labels of our attributes will look, among other settings. In step number 8, we have everything related to the designs of the controls offered by WorkWithPlus, such as, for example, grids, buttons, and panels. The idea is that you can start selecting and looking at them in the preview, so you see how it is turning out. In step number 9, we can choose default settings when applying WorkWithPlus to a transaction. For example, what type of filters will be applied, the actions that will be available, among others. Of course, we will see this later in another video. In the last step, we can see the languages we can add to our application. By selecting one of them, WorkWithPlus will add them to the master page. So then the user can change them at runtime.
After selecting all the options, we must click the Import Design System button.
This will start importing all the GeneSys objects needed. For the operation of WorkWithPlus, we intend to create with our settings as selected. This process can take a few minutes, as it is generating the design system we created totally customized. Once the import process is finished, we can see that WorkWithPlus imported a module called WorkWithPlus Base Object, which contains all the base objects necessary for the proper functioning of WorkWithPlus, such as the master page, design system objects, among others. It also imported the root module of the KB, the object WorkWithPlus DS, where we can add our CSS classes to edit the style of our application. Finally, it also imported the WorkWithPlus setting object, which in a full version we can see from preferences. And here we find it, in WorkWithPlus. Now we can compile and run our application. In the next video, we will see how to apply WorkWithPlus in our transactions. We invite you to subscribe to our channels so you are always up to date with our upcoming videos. See you soon.